Wow. How do you follow that? James, thank you so much for those beautiful words. My honor to have coached you, one of the all-time great DeMatha players. So many other great DeMatha players in this room today. You represent them so well, what you've done in life. God bless you, and thank you for those wonderful, wonderful words. Very, very much appreciated. You hear words like that, it keeps you very humble. And the DeMatha people have heard this story, but it's true, so bear with it. Because it's a true story. I have 16 grandchildren. They keep me humble. My grandchild, one of my grandchildren, Nick, was in kindergarten. And the teacher asked everybody to write down their favorite sport. And he wrote down baseball. Keeps you humble. Teacher said to Nick, true story, why did you write down baseball? He said, well, my father, Mike, sitting right there, is a great baseball player, and he can teach me to be a great baseball player. And she said, I thought you might write down basketball. He said, oh no, I don't know anybody that knows anything about basketball. True story. She said, well, you know, some people think your grandfather knows something about basketball. He said, oh no, I go to all his games and he never gets in. And CM's listening, and he remembers this when we were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Of course, a player cannot be inducted into the Hall of Fame until they've been retired for 5 years. And so the player I'm going to mention in a minute, he was still playing. So in the year 2000, when I was fortunate to go into the Hall of Fame with CM, she went up to him and said, what do you think, Nick? Your grandfather just got inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame. He said, well, I'm glad he got there ahead of Michael Jordan. Of course, Michael was playing with the Wizards at the time. But Kathy, I know what it's like to work for the Catholics. I understand the salary and all those things. I started at DeMatha in 56. I taught 5 classes a day. I was head football coach, head basketball coach, athletic director, called the bingo numbers on Tuesday night in Latin, so we would have a Catholic winner. Father Lewis was terrific. He came to me and he said, Morgan, you've done a wonderful job. We want you back next year full time. But sincerely, what a great honor to be here. I thank the Lapchick organization. So much. I thank Bob and Dan and everybody associated with this great award. I received it because I had the privilege and pleasure of coaching so many fantastic young men through the years, so many people in the DeMatha family that have been so very, very supportive in so many, many ways. Father Damien, who's here today, our moderator of our team for so many, many years, and he was in charge to take care of the officials when things weren't going well. But, he'd run his finger around that collar, and we'd get the next 10 calls. Just a fantastic, fantastic friend. He says Mass for us every Christmas Eve, and he's just very, very special. And he represents the Trinitarians who have been so wonderful to me for so many years, and it made my life so special, Kathy's life so special. It's just been very, very wonderful. And our incomparable principal, Dan McMahon, who certainly made the word around Washington and maybe around the country that there's only one DeMatha. He is fantastic, and what he's done to our school, for our school, in every respect is unbelievable. And so delighted both of them could be here today. Just very, 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 very special. I'm honored to be in the same class with Kathy Rush, with C.M. Newton, and of course the late Pete Newell, who was so special, who I got to know also. Just a very, very special person. It's been a tremendous run, needless to say. Another person I do want to mention, because he put this whole thing together, does so much for the math, is Tom Ponton, who made it possible for so many of the math players to be here. So many of my former players, both football and basketball, so many of my students that are here today. It's just very, very special. Let me share with you quickly 2 events that really shaped my early life as a coach. I really was a very, very lucky person with the people that I met early on. First story I'd like to talk about was we were playing in the Summer League down at Jelliffs, and it was in the very early 60s when integration had just come in. It was an outdoor court. We were playing the Inter-High All-Stars, and they were loaded. 8 of their 10 players went on to play in the NBA. We were very good too, because we were very young. In fact, it was the nucleus of the team that would go on to be Power Memorial a few years later. But everybody thought we'd get beat pretty bad. The place was crowded. People were on the roofs of buildings, hanging from fences. They were on telephone poles. It was an outdoor court, so they could see the game. In fact, I had all my substitutes stand up behind the bench, so some real dignitaries could sit on the bench and see the game, because they'd been helping us up at camp. Right next to me the entire game was Red Auerbach, sitting next to me. Next to Red was Bill Bradley. Bill, of course, went on to be an All-Pro with the Knicks, senator from New Jersey, ran for president, Rhodes Scholar, on and on. Next to Bill was Hot Rod Huntley, the All-American from West Virginia. Next to him was Bud Milligan, the head coach of Maryland at the time. Next to him was Bunny Levitt, foul shooting expert, Hall of Fame. And the picture in the Post the next day was a picture of our bench, all those people standing there. Well, what a game it was. We didn't get routed. It went 3 overtimes, and we lost by 1 point. I've never been so proud of a bunch of kids in my life. And the next day, I went up at our summer basketball camp, and Red came walking up to play tennis, and hey, Red had been sitting next to me the entire game. He heard everything I said every time out. So I figured he'd give me a nice compliment. Red walked up and said, "Hi, Red." He said, "Hi, Morgan." Didn't say a word. That's Red. And I said, "Well, you know, I'm fishing for a compliment, young guy." I said, "What did you think of the game last night?" He said, "Oh, the game?" He said, "I think it's just you cost your team the game." There went the compliment. I said, "Well, what do you mean, Red?" He said, "Real simple. You lost the feel of the game." He said, "I heard you at the timeouts and the overtime. You were talking about what you were going to do on offense. You were in good shape on offense. You were running some good stuff. You were getting great shots. Hitting the offensive boards pretty good. But your problems were down on defense. You were getting hurt on the board. You should have double blocking the big guy and dropping the off guard by and get that weak side forward so he couldn't get on the board. And he went through it technically." He said, "Well, you know what? You turned spectator." And he said, "You, like so many coaches," he said, "you, like so many people in life, lost the feel of what was really going on." He said, "If you want to be a winner, and you look at all the winners in everything," he said, "basketball or anything in life, the winners know what's going on. They have the feel of the game. They truly know what's happening." And I never forgot that as long as I lived, the feel of the game. And it meant a lot to me, and it helped me a lot, I think, in my coaching down through the years. That was the first story. Second story, I was very, very lucky. I'm sorry, Lou Carter II's not here today, is he? But Lou invited me up to New York in 1957, my second year at DeMatha. A little basketball and so on. And then we went out to lunch, and I was very fortunate to have lunch with Joe Lapchick, with your dad. And I got to meet him, my second year of coaching. And I sat down and we talked, we had lunch and all that. And he told me 2 things that day I never forgot. He said, "Morgan," he said, "the first thing, remember this, a player will never forget their coach. They may forget some of the kids they went to school with. They may forget some of their teachers. They may forget people they meet along the way, but they'll never forget their coach. They'll know what kind of person that coach was, how they treated them. They'll know if that coach was interested in them just as a basketball player, or if they were interested in their development as a total human being, helping them becoming the best person they could possibly become." And I remembered that. And then he said, secondly, you know the greatest thing about coaching? It's 10, 15, 20 years later. One of those players will come back with a big smile and they'll say, "Hi, Coach." He said, that's what coaching is all about. Hi, Coach. Boy, was I lucky to meet him, get those 2 lessons. And so many members of the Matha family came up for this one. And maybe if at this time, if I could ask everyone who has been part of my program, football, basketball, in any way, any shape or form, would you please stand up for a minute? Please stand up, please. I think that's what Joe Lapchick meant. For you guys to go back and say, "Hi, Coach." Now I know what Joe was talking about over 50 years ago. Thank you so very, very much for being here. That just means the world to me. I wouldn't dare mention the name of any player. I, of course, mentioned James because he introduced me and he represents all the other players, because too many of you would come up here and strangle me if I forgot to mention your name. But you know how I love you. And you know what an honor it was to be part of your life. And I hope it's just been incredible. But I do want to mention my family that's here today. They're just so special. My daughter, Kathy, and her husband, Mike, they're here. And she's the mother of 5 of my grandchildren. And I'm just so proud of her. In fact, the book Orphans to Champions, which some of you mentioned, she came up with the title for that book. She helps me in some of the writing in some of my books, does a great job. And my daughter, Carol Paul, who's here with her husband, Stephen, and she does just a fantastic job running our camp and everything else, does a great job there. My daughter-in-law, Elizabeth Wootten, here representing my oldest son, who really wanted to be here. He was with the group last night but couldn't be here. Elizabeth's here. And representing all my 16 grandchildren is my oldest grandchild, Stephen, who's with Accenture. Is that right?